The launch pad trembled beneath the feet of thousands. A curtain of morning fog coiled around the towering silhouette of the horizon, Earth's first faster-than-light spacecraft. Though the skies above were clear, something in the air felt heavier than weather, like history itself was about to crack open. Captain Arya Voss stood in her flight suit, gaze fixed on the ship's elongated hull. Its design was elegant and brutal, all cutting edges and dark alloys, built not just for travel but survival. She didn't need the engineers to tell her this machine was experimental. She could feel it in her bones. She'd seen too many prototypes during her years in the Intercontinental Peace Corps. Machines that failed spectacularly, often with lives inside. Behind her, tech crews shouted across the comms and tightened final bolts, but Arya stayed still calm. Her eyes tracked the rising sun. It hadn't changed. Earth hadn't changed. But it would. Dr. Cale Juan approached, awkward in his uniform, clutching a datapad cluttered with neurolinguistic code. He wasn't built for war zones or launches. His strength was language, the bridge between minds, especially minds not born on Earth. Captain, telemetry shows stable quantum alignment. The AI's linguistic protocols are initialized. If we meet something, I think I'll be ready. Arya gave a rare nod. Cale's confidence was tentative, but it masked a mind quick as plasma fire. He'd once decoded a dead dialect in under 6 hours, a task meant for months of AI processing. Still, brilliance didn't make a person whole. She'd seen his hands shake after every test run. She noticed they shook now. Commander Len Reyes entered next, boots hard on steel. His gaze scanned the ship like it was prey he intended to tame. Horizons ready. Systems green. Fuel flows nominal. Defense grid offline per council order. No weapons. Arya asked, not because she didn't know. She just wanted to hear it said again. None active. But I know where they're buried if we need them. He didn't smile. Reyes had once commanded Black Ops on Europa's icy fronts. Rumor was he'd lost an entire crew in a decision that wasn't his. Since then, he'd been the Council's problem solver, loyal enough to trust with classified launch, but never quite forgiven for surviving. The last to join them was Navigator Luma Chun, barely 22, her eyes scanning the horizon like she could already see the stars. Her voice buzzed with a clipped urgency, almost melodic. FTL trajectories logged. I corrected the temporal drift manually. AI wasn't processing fast enough. We're good. You overrode the AI? Cale asked, eyebrows raised. I corrected it, she repeated, this time with steel in her tone. There was more to Luma than raw IQ. Born on the lunar colonies, she'd grown up in gravity half of Earth's, in silence twice as deep. She was precise. She was strange. But every calculation she made came back true. They were a misfit crew, soldier, linguist, engineer, and prodigy. They weren't meant to trust one another. They were meant to work. As the final pre-launch report was signed off and relayed back to the Orbital Council, Earth prepared to watch. On every continent, cities dimmed their lights to focus on one glowing point in the east. The horizon stood like a needle aimed at the galaxy's heart. The Council's voice rang in Aria's earpiece, solemn and measured. Captain Voss, proceed. She tapped the command panel. The deck beneath her vibrated gently as the main reactor came online. Systems engage. Reyes confirmed. Temporal dampeners locked, said Luma. Quantum shell forming stable, Cale murmured, sweat on his brow. She exhaled. Begin countdown. 10 seconds. As the numbers fell, her mind flickered to her sister, watching from their childhood home in northern Cascadia. To her father's grave, the man who believed in going beyond. To the message from the Council warning her not to return if the mission failed. 3, 2, 1. Space folded. There was no boom, no streak of light. The horizon vanished from Earth's skies like a dream ending mid-sentence. Inside the ship, reality blinked. It wasn't motion, it was subtraction. One instant, they were surrounded by Earth's gravitational song. The next, silence. The kind of silence that had never touched human ears. Status. Arya barked. Luma's fingers danced across her console. We've transitioned. Location unknown. I'm rerouting star maps. Drift pattern doesn't match any known systems, Reyes muttered, scanning the hollow screen. No suns within immediate visual. Kale frowned. I'm detecting anomalous resonance. Something's pinging back at us. The comms panel flickered. Static, then a sound like breathing. Then nothing. A single red light blinked on the console. Luma tilted her head. What is it? Arya asked. We were out for longer than the FTL curve suggests. How much longer? 47 hours. 47 hours are missing. A chill ran through them all. In the vacuum of space, where seconds could mean catastrophe, 2 days unaccounted for wasn't just a mistake. It was a threat. We don't sleep through jumps, Reyes said. The FTL fold was modeled to last 6 minutes, not days. And we weren't in cryo, Kale added. No one reported memory loss. No physical symptoms. Luma turned in her chair. Captain, this isn't the system we aimed for. We're thousands of light years beyond the intended arc. I think... She stopped, breath-catching. There's something outside. Reyes was already at the view deck controls. The screen shimmered into view, revealing a planet-sized structure orbiting a ringed gas giant. The surface was geometric, metallic, carved with thousands of symmetrical shapes. It wasn't natural, and it wasn't abandoned. Tiny dots moved across the surface, organized, mechanical, like machines, or guardians. Do we initiate first contact? Kale asked, voice thin. Arya stared into void and considered the weight of her orders. Observe. Document. Engage only if safe. But nothing about this was safe. Still, this was why they were here, to face the unknown, not skirt it. She opened the comms channel. This is Captain Arya Voss of Earth Vessel Horizon. We come in peace. We seek dialogue. The response came faster than expected. A sound filled the chamber. Not words, not noise, but something that pressed in the skull at a memory not yet lived. Symbols danced on the screen in a language no AI had on file. Kale leaned forward. It's not a language. It's thought. Concepts. Intention. Can you translate it? He hesitated. I think it's saying, you broke the seal. Everyone stared at him. What seal? Reyes asked. Kale shook his head. I don't know. A new alert flared, an object moving toward them at incomprehensible speed. No weapons locked. No threat signal. Just an arrival. It's docking, Luma whispered. Let it... Arya said. Kale turned to her. You're not worried? She met his eyes, and for once there was no distance between soldier and scientist. Only shared uncertainty. I'm terrified, but we didn't come this far to flinch. The airlock engaged. Systems registered an atmospheric match. Footsteps echoed from beyond the sealed door, but no form registered on the visual sensors. Whatever was coming didn't want to be seen. Not yet. Arya stepped forward, her crew behind her. No weapons drawn, just hearts pounding. The door began to open, and the galaxy held its breath. The airlock opened in silence, revealing nothing but dense white fog. The ship's scanners flickered uselessly. No life signs, no heat signature, nothing recognizable. The fog drifted in unnaturally slow, curling with purpose more than physics. Captain Arya Voss stepped forward, her muscles tight, but her expression controlled. Lights up, she ordered. The chamber brightened. A figure emerged, not walking but gliding, each motion fluid and too smooth to be human. It was tall, armored in obsidian plating that shimmered with embedded constellations. No face, just a reflective surface that mirrored the crew's uncertain expressions. Dr. Kale Huan instinctively reached for his translator interface. It's humanoid, artificial, maybe, no visible weapons. Should I attempt contact again? Do it, Arya said, her gaze locked on the figure. Kale activated the interface. Symbols fluttered through the air like stardust. The figure tilted its head. A pulse of violet light rippled from its chest, passed through the crew like a wave. No pain, just awareness. An overwhelming sense of being seen on every level. Kale staggered back. It's inside my head, not just broadcasting. It's reading. Reyes's hand hovered near the emergency blast control. permission to initiate containment. No, Arya snapped. Stand down. We don't escalate unless we're given a reason. The figure turned, and suddenly, they all heard it. No voice, yet unmistakable words, a pressure behind the ears that bypassed language. You have arrived from a fractured world. You have crossed a forbidden divide. Your emergence is premature. Arya stepped forward. We're explorers. We don't come as enemies. You are the first since the silence. The seal is broken. The watching ones will stir. Kale swallowed hard, asking who they are. Where we are. Before Arya could speak, the figure moved. Not toward them. Through them, as if untethered from spatial rules. One moment, it was standing in the airlock. The next, it was in the command bay, examining the ship's quantum drive. Luma stared at it, unmoving, pupils dilated. It's scanning the FTL matrix, she whispered. It's learning how we jumped. That's classified tech, Reyes muttered. Everything's classified out here, Arya said, including this entire situation. Suddenly, the figure turned back. A new pulse flooded the deck. This time, it brought images. Cities floating in space, vast empires built around stars, languages spoken by light and thought. And then, fire, black swarms devouring suns. Screams in a language made of gravity. Silence again. You are not the first, the being said. Others tried. All failed. All forgot. Kale looked pale. It's a warning. No, Luma said softly. It's history. The figure drifted backward. Its shape began to unravel, fragmenting into strands of dark energy, each flickering with data. It left behind a phrase etched onto the ship's internal systems. They are watching. As quickly as it had come, it vanished. Reyes cursed under his breath. What the hell was that? Some kind of sentinel? A message carrier? Arya didn't answer. She stared at the mark it had left behind, glowing faintly in the air like a brand. It knew we were coming. Maybe not us specifically, but something like us. This wasn't an accident. We were expected. Luma nodded slowly. We didn't land off course. We were pulled. Kale turned sharply. Pulled? You mean by them? Or by the space itself, she said. The trajectory calculations were clean, yet we ended up far beyond our expected location, with nearly 2 days unaccounted for. And whatever moved us did it gently, like it didn't want us damaged. Arya crossed her arms. So we're pawns, or seeds, or bait, Reyes added darkly. A new alarm sounded, external proximity. Not weapons. Vessels. Dozens of sleek, organic-looking ships appeared outside, each shaped like coral fused with bone. No weapon signatures, no comms traffic. Silent, observing. Arya tensed. Let's not give them a reason to panic. One ship approached. The same black sigils appeared on their viewports. Then a message in clear, artificial standard. You are in restricted space. Power down your drive. Do not attempt transmission. Await Tribunal. Kale read the display again, lips moving. They're taking us into custody. Reyes scoffed. So much for a peaceful greeting. We're still alive, Arya reminded him. Let's see how long we can keep that streak going. The alien ship surrounded Horizon, then linked to the vessel using delicate energy tethers. The movement was precise, ritualistic. No force, no demands. Just silent inevitability. Within minutes, Horizon began to move, faster than their engines should have allowed. Stars blurred. Systems reported zero thrust. It was as if the laws of propulsion no longer applied. They're folding space, Luma murmured. I can't track it. A pulse vibrated through the ship. Then arrival. They hung in orbit around a twin star system, the light amber and pale blue. Before them loomed a ringed citadel the size of a continent. It wasn't a station. It was a world. And it was awake. Countless lights pulsed along its surface. Layers of ships, cities, atmospheric domes rotated in perfect synchrony. In its center, a crystalline structure projected a beam of energy straight into space. This must be a seat of power, Kale said. A council, maybe a government. Maybe, Reyes muttered. Or a prison. A message came through, this time verbal. Delegates of the fractured world, your vessel is quarantined. Await tribunal judgment. You are not alone. Aria's brow furrowed. Not alone. On cue, a separate transmission opened. Another ship, alien in design, but not foreign. Human architecture, familiar angles. The emblem of the unified Terran Council marked its hull. Reyes leaned in. That's not possible. We were first. Kale's voice went hollow. That's the Pioneer. Lost 21 years ago on a classified mission. Presumed destroyed. A new voice echoed in their chamber. Human, clipped, cold. Captain Voss. We have much to discuss. Do not resist. The tribunal has already begun. The feed cut. Everyone froze. Arya looked at her crew. Kale trembling, Luma unreadable, Reyes still and alert. This mission had never been simple exploration. That much was now painfully clear. What's our play? Reyes asked. We listen. Arya said, tone razor-sharp. We learn. And if they've already judged us? Arya turned back toward the display. Her reflection in the glass looked distant, small against the stars. Then we remind them we didn't come to ask for permission. The chamber darkened as energy tethers deepened their grip. The horizon was pulled deeper into the alien world's gravity well. Somewhere beyond the black glass, a door was waiting to be opened again. Metal groaned as the horizon was guided into the vast docking bay beneath the Citadel's crystalline towers. The alien gravity clutched at the hull, denser and more complex than Earth's. Light danced along the walls, patterns that pulsed in response to the ship's arrival. Not a welcome, a diagnosis. Inside the ship, the crew stood silent. Even Reyes, normally the first to bristle under pressure, kept his hand away from his sidearm. This wasn't a battlefield. It was a theater, and they were players in someone else's script. Atmosphere compatible. Luma reported quietly. Pressure stabilized. No toxins. Still no invitation. Kale muttered. He stared at the docking interface, as if expecting it to blink into familiarity. They called it a tribunal. Do you think it's symbolic? Or are we actually on trial? Reyes answered before Arya could. You don't build a place like this for show. They want to decide what we are, what we mean, and whether we're worth keeping. Luma added without emotion. The docking seal engaged with a low, thrumming lock, a hiss of pressurized air, then silence. Arya stepped toward the hatch. Stay alert. Observe everything. Say nothing unless you're spoken to. And if something feels wrong, anything, don't wait for orders. One by one, they crossed into the Citadel. The interior was overwhelming. Vaulted corridors made of translucent alloys, shifting with soft color as they moved. Geometric patterns unfurled on the walls, like language made of architecture. Sentinel-like figures stood motionless at intervals. Faces blank, forms humanoid but exaggerated, more statues and guards, yet clearly watching. No sounds, no wind, no footsteps, but there's... Kale leaned toward Arya. This place feels like it was built by something ancient, but not just old, disciplined. Every line has purpose. They were led, wordlessly, by an escort of gliding machines toward a circular chamber at the Citadel's core. Inside, tiers of seats spiraled up toward a domed ceiling of shifting constellations. The gallery was occupied. Beings of many forms, biological, synthetic, hybrid, filled the seats, each enclosed within individual light fields. Some shimmered with scales, others flickered with bioelectric nerves or hovered without visible form. Only one thing united them: their gaze. All focus on humans. Arya stepped forward. I am Captain Arya Voss, commanding officer of the Horizon. We come in peace. A beam of light pierced the center of the chamber, materializing a humanoid entity unlike the rest. It looked partially constructed of energy, its limbs trailing off like smoke. When it spoke, its voice layered multiple tones, calm, resonant, and strangely human. You are not the first children of your kind to arrive here. Others came. Others did not leave. Kale inhaled sharply. You mean the Pioneer. What happened to them? A pause. Then they were fragmented, disassembled, Parts studied, others lost. Luma's hands clenched. We're not here to repeat their mistakes, Arya said. We want understanding. Exchange. Your emergence has disturbed long-held balances, the entity replied. The faster-than-light breach tore open Echo's seal for eons. You broke the boundary. You brought noise. We didn't come to bring war, she said evenly, and yet your minds hum with fear. Your vessel holds echoes of weapons, cloaked under layers of pacifism. We're explorers, she said. No explorer arrives with armor. Kale stepped forward now, hesitant but certain. Every species starts afraid. You must remember that. The tribunal being tilted its head. We remember everything. You, however, forget quickly. From the far side of the chamber, another human figure entered, uniform black, insignia faded, hair tied back with military precision. Her eyes were glassy, strange. Captain Alira Maddox. Kale gasped. That's the Pioneer's commander. Reyes took a step forward. She's supposed to be dead. I was, Alira said. Her voice was quiet, flat. And I am, but I also remain. Her steps were precise, too fluid. Not human anymore, or not fully. I came before you. I disobeyed orders, tried to flee containment. I watched my crew come apart. Minds splintered by things we couldn't name. But the tribunal saved me, reassembled me. Now I serve. Arya's jaw clenched. Where are you now? I'm a message, Alira said. A demonstration. You can be remade, too. No, Reyes said coldly. That's not saving. That's rewriting. You call it rewriting. We call it evolution. Kale looked stricken. You let them dismantle you? They made me whole, she said. You still think you're singular, but you're fragments. Loud, broken, dangerous fragments. The tribunal entity pulsed. You will not be destroyed. Yet, but you must choose. What choice? Arya asked. Surrender your method of travel. The breach technology. If you refuse, we will quarantine your world. Forever. Luma finally spoke. You're afraid of something. Not us. What the jump stirred. The chamber dimmed. Images flared, black stars, collapsing light. Structures built from dying planets. A presence behind the veil of reality. Watching. Listening. They are real, the entity said. And they're hungry. The seal kept them dormant. Your jump cracked it. Kale's voice shook. So we're not just being judged. We're being used to plug the hole. You are the noise that must be silenced before it echoes further. The crew stood frozen. The tribunal was no longer just weighing their lives. It was weighing Earth's fate. One action. One leap into the stars. And now the galaxy considered their entire world threat. What happens if we give you the FTL core? Arya asked. It will be buried, said the entity. Earth will forget again. The seal will hold. For a time. And if we don't, then you return. But not alone. The echo will follow. And Earth will face the dark. The room brightened. A final message appeared in pure light. Choose by cycle's end. The crew was escorted back. No chains. No words. Just the weight of what waited behind them. Back aboard Horizon, silence ruled. Arya stood by the viewport, staring out at the ringed citadel. Reyes finally said, I don't like either choice. It's not about liking it, Arya replied. It's about what we can live with, or what survives. Kale rubbed his eyes. If we bury the drive, Earth loses the stars. But maybe it survives. Luma stared at her console. If we return with it, we risk awakening something no one can stop. Reyes turned to Arya. You command this ship. But this decision, it's bigger than rank. Arya's eyes didn't leave the stars. Then we have until the end of the cycle, she said. Let's find a third path. And behind them, the lights of the citadel dimmed, as if something ancient was waiting for their answer. Inside the dim briefing chamber aboard the Horizon, the air pulsed with tension. The crew surrounded the central holodeble, its surface flickering with models of the FDL core, the alien tribunal citadel, and, hovering beyond everything, an expanding void marked unknown entity activity. Every line of light represented a decision with no safe outcome. Captain Arya Voss stood unmoving, arms folded, eyes fixed on projection of Earth, a delicate blue orb so easily overlooked in a room of ancient stars. Behind her, the Tribunal's final message still echoed. Choose by cycle's end. Kale was pacing. We can't give up the core. If we hand it over, Earth stays trapped. We lose every future we've fought for. Reyes leaned against the console, arms crossed. If we don't, we risk dragging something back with us. Something even these super civilizations are afraid of. They didn't say what it was, Luma murmured. Only that it listens and feeds. They want to silence us, Arya said, turning to them. Not destroy us. Just quiet the noise. Kale stopped pacing, so we stopped making noise. We fake our compliance. Give them a core, just not ours. Reyes frowned. A decoy? Luma's fingers flew across her panel. We have partial schematics from the original Pioneer's logs. If we construct a partial matrix using dormant systems from the auxiliary core, we could simulate a drive, enough to pass with a real thing under a quick scan. They'll expect us to turn it over, Arya said. But if we pretend to sabotage our own drive, then surrender the fake, we buy time. Time to learn more. Time to prepare Earth. And what happens when they realize it's a trick? Kale asked. Then we'll already be gone. The plan solidified quickly. They detonated controlled overload in a sealed section of the drive chamber, sending out a carefully tuned burst of radiation, something that would mimic the FTL core being irreparably damaged. Meanwhile, they present a decoy for surrender, coded with enough surface data to fool external scans. It was a desperate gamble. But desperation was their only currency now. Luma worked in silence for hours, assisted by the ship's AI. Kale extracted harmless yet convincing telemetry patterns. Reyes rigged the charge with his usual grim efficiency. Arya coordinated timing, knowing one misstep would unravel everything. When the Tribunal's transport vessel arrived, they were ready. Arya led the team into the Citadel once more, a sealed containment crate levitating behind them. Her posture was deliberate, not defiant, not submissive, just steady, the kind of presence that refused to beg or threaten. In the Tribunal chamber, the same shimmering entity awaited them, its voice weaving through frequencies no human throat could mimic. You have chosen? We have, Arya said. The core was unstable after our initial breach. We destroyed it. This is what remains. The being extended a limb, not a hand. Exactly, but an appendage of cascading filaments. The crate opened, revealing the decoy. The entity hovered above it in silence for what felt like hours. Finally it spoke. You chose extinction over hunger. Acceptable. Kale stiffened. Extinction? Your world will fade slowly, forgotten by the stars. But it will remain undevoured. That's not acceptable. Arya snapped. The Tribunal's voice pulsed. Your noise is quiet. Our task is complete. Then, before they could object, the chamber dimmed, and they were back on the horizon. No memory of walking, just displacement. A warning. The stars outside were shifting again. The alien escort vessels detached. Tethers retracted. Drive status. Arya barked. Luma's hands flew. Intact. Undetected. They bought it. Kale collapsed into a chair. That shouldn't have worked. It didn't, Arya said. Not entirely. On screen, a signal blinked from the far side of the Citadel. A transmission, coded in Terran format. Unauthorized. Patching it through, Luma said. Elira Maddox's face appeared. Her expression was no longer glassy, no longer hollow. Something had changed. They know you lied, she said flatly. They let you go anyway. Why? Arya asked. To follow us? They don't need to. What follows you already heard your arrival. Your jump breached the veil. The Tribunal's quieting can't stop it. Kale swallowed. Then what happens now? Elira looked directly into the camera. Her eyes, too human now, were haunted. You run. You warn Earth. You make it ready. Because it's coming, Arya. The thing beyond the stars. It listened to your engines. It remembers your light. Then the signal died. No escort, no alarms, just deep space. Get us out of here, Arya ordered. Luma hesitated. Even if we can jump, we're bringing the Echo with us. We don't have a choice, Arya said. But Earth does, once we warn them. Reyes turned from his console. And what do we tell them? That the stars are a trap? That our dreams brought a predator? Arya walked to the viewport. The Citadel shrank behind them, a fortress of secrets, still watching. We tell them the truth, and we make sure they're ready to fight for tomorrow. Luma engaged the jump drive. The ship trembled, light twisted, stars folded, and far, far behind them, something vast stirred in the dark, awake now, listening, following. But for now, Earth was still in reach, and the warning had just begun.